So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out my website, temperanceandsage.com. These are paid personal readings. These are not free. So if you are interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com, for the live personal readings. Just give me 1 second here and then we will start on personal reading number 81. All right, let's go ahead here with personal reading order number 81. 81, I'm a little bit confused about your question. You would like some clarity about this individual, but I do not know what that means. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards here, and I will read out what the cards mean, but I'm not entirely sure what that means if you're looking for clarity about them. So let's go ahead and dive in here and see. All right. So it looks like there's some differences between the two of you right now. Queen of Wands, or I should say Queen of Swords, coming forward with the King of Wands, says that the two of you are on very different planes of energy right now. And there's a desire to create harmony, Two of Cups, but it can be more of like, with the Hermit, Two of Cups energy, we need to look inside of ourselves and see if this, way that we're trying to move forward, connect with this person really benefits us, or is it pulling us away from our true self? Are we trying to make something happen with this person in a way that doesn't really align with our own values? Because that Hermit wants you to follow a pathway that works for you. It wants you to be in tune with yourself. And when it comes to the idea of the Two of Cups, we need to find that harmony within ourselves creates harmony with another. So if you're feeling confused with the other person, feeling distant, feeling challenged with the other person, you might find that that's also an element that you're feeling with inside of yourself, because you're not aligning with yourself by being in pursuit of this individual. Now, with the Page of Pentacles, with the Emperor, it's asking for you to seek stability. This person might be at a time period where they are looking for more stability in their life, just in general, career, finances, things like that. And so they might be somebody who's focused on putting those aspects first in life rather than, putting passion or putting romance first. And so there might be some sort of difference here between what you are in pursuit of versus what they are in pursuit of. Now, the Six of Wands coming forward with the Four of Cups says, in order to get to success, in order to get some sort of movement or direction forward, we have to recognize that the ways of the past are not the ways of the future. So we have to kind of move forward in a new way. This could also say that they're very stuck in their energy and they're not going to maybe do things differently or do things in a new way versus how they've done things in the past. So if you're wanting to see change, if you're wanting to see opportunity, you kind of have to introduce the newness here in order to get something to move forward, because they're very much stuck in how they're wanting things to be or how they're used to things, how they can, count on things, control things, understand things, rather than trying to move things forward into a new direction. The Wheel of Fortune is asking for you to recognize the ups and downs when it comes to situations. Not everything is always going to remain the same, but the Seven of Cups is asking for you to kind of realize on how all may not be what it seems. Sometimes we think one thing and the other thing happens. So Seven of Cups coming forward here with the idea of the Hermit, it's important for you to be in a place to recognize that how you're moving forward may not be how the other person is moving forward. How you're wanting something may not be how the other person is wanting something. And it can kind of create a bit of a back and forth energy, or it can create a bit of difficult energy here between yourself and another person, because we're wanting something and they're wanting another, right? If we're in a place of not really having a flow state of energy, or we're in a place of having difficulties, then it kind of makes things difficult to move things forward in a clear manner between the two of you. So right now, I would say any challenges that you're feeling with this person, any confusion that you're feeling with this person, is probably because you're not aligning yourself up with what you truly want or truly desire. And that's kind of in a pursuit of things that may not be, not necessarily to say what's best for you, but you just might be like trying to make them be what you want, or trying to connect with them in a way that you want without recognizing them as an individual, and that kind of creates a bit of a mismatch in terms of energy. um, and maybe needing to recognize that how they're moving forward here is the way that's best for them, even if it's not necessarily best for you. And so we need to kind of bring clarity into the situation and move forward in a way that creates the best flow for us, the most stability for us, and creates the most harmony within our own lives, instead of being in pursuit of another. Because again, all may not be what it seems here when it comes to the Seven of Cups. Just because we are thinking one way, feeling one way, desiring something one way, doesn't mean that they are in that same frame of mind. They may be kind of operating or living life in a different direction. So that's what I would say. Again, I don't really know what you were asking when it comes to looking for clarity. So do make sure that in asking questions, you're very specific and very detailed in what you're looking for. Otherwise, I am really bad when it comes to reading between the lines. I don't know how to fill in the blanks like that. So let's go ahead here with 82. 82, you'd like to know, have they thought about you today? Let us see. So I would say yes, but it seems like they've tried to push down the thought in one way or another. When we have the Three of Swords energy coming forward here with the idea of the High Priestess, oh goodness, that scared me. With the idea of the High Priestess, it's kind of like keeping something to one's own self, or kind of pushing something underneath, right? The idea of the Three of Swords can be some sort of heartache. So they could be a little bit emotional today, being up in their feelings, or feeling hurt one way or another, thinking about where things could go wrong instead of going right, kind of being in a bit of a doomsday mind. And so it could say that they've kind of tried to push down the ideas in one way or another when it comes to try to push down the energy, instead of being open and free flowing when it comes to the thought of you and allowing their mind to sit with the idea of you. It seems like maybe they've tried to push that away. The Six of Swords can be thinking about connecting and overcoming problems in communication, wanting to be at a place of smooth flow when it comes to communication. But through the idea of the Queen of Swords, we might be feeling like it's really strict to make something happen. We could feel like there is a difficult energy when it comes to maybe expectations or how to communicate, just kind of feeling difficult when it comes to communication, but wanting to overcome that. So I would say that they have thought about you here. This is the energy of wanting to be in a good place of mind, but feeling or finding themselves think about more worrying directions around communication, connection, and flow, that it seems like they've tried to push away the idea of you today rather than to embrace it. But based on this combination, it does indeed look like they have thought about you today, yeah. So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now. So if you are interested in having a personal reading here today, check it out, temperanceandsage.com, for the live personal readings. All right, let's go ahead here for 83. 83, I'd like to know, does he feel some kind of way to see other team members or peers interact with yourself? Let us see. All right, so when we have the energy coming forward here of the Ace of Cups as well as the Five of Cups, there's a sense of like wanting to be able to have. Okay, so what I see is not, oh, I'm envious because you're talking to other people, or I have something like that, have something free flowing, or have something be in the moment, goodwill, good intentions with just an openness come ahead, rather than having anything difficult come forward. We can be in a place of kind of like wishing that we want that, but the Seven of Cups comes forward as a card of illusion or fantasy, and it can be in a place of being projected onto anybody. So what I'm kind of trying to say is like there's no difference in them seeing people interact with you as they would maybe see people walk on the street and interact with each other, of being in a place of saying, oh, I wish I could have conversations with people like that. That's kind of how I see this combination come forward here. Because the Nine of Pentacles is feeling good as oneself, right? The card is an individual card that recognizes the power and structure and abilities of the individual. And so it's kind of like them saying, I'm good as I am myself. I'm not really coming from a place of lacking or coming from a place of lowness or envy or anything like that. But the Seven of Cups kind of comes into the mind of thinking about all the different avenues and options and directions that we could have in terms of connecting. And the Four of Wands would come forward as like a foundational aspect, celebration, connection of being all together, right? With this particular card, there's no two people on the card. And so it's not like the idea of coming together in terms of unison of a coupling, but more of just the idea of a structure, togetherness, right? Like an overall sense of foundation and celebration for all. And so the Ace of Cups can come forward as a card of innocence, right? We don't have any underlying meaning about what we're talking about. We don't have any sort of what ifs. We just kind of have the sense of being able to connect with a place of flow. So I see them having this kind of longing, is the best word that I can perhaps use right now, longing for simplicity or longing for the community aspect of seeing you connect with other people. But it would be the same as if they just saw a group of people on the street kind of laughing a bunch, you know, and connecting with each other that way. It's like the longing for that rather than anything to do with you and the individuals specifically. So that's what I would say. I don't know why he's sitting here. Out of all the places that he could possibly sit. And then you scoot him away. And he sits his big self right back. So I will just move it down. He can have those ones, I guess. So we have 84. You'd like to know what are Kay's thoughts and feelings? No worries. Thank you as well for allowing me to do your reading for you. All right. So Kay seems to be trying to think of a way to connect. When we have this Eight of Wands come forward here with the Ace of Cups, we're looking for some sort of good intention, goodwill, innocent way of connecting, right? The Eight of Wands wants quick paced movement. Sometimes I see this card come forward with like online communication, where we're wanting to just have some sort of flow of conversation, movement, and good energy. And the star can be thinking about, okay, how can I bring forward some sort of openness or some sort of vulnerability here to talk, to connect, to see things flow. It comes forward in a hopeful way. And also with the Justice card, how can I make sure that it's balanced? So it's not just one person's wants or desires to make something happen, but instead comes forward from both sides of the table here to see this flow and this opportunity. Especially with the Strength card, we do not want something to be fast. We do not want something to be forced. We just want a flow to come forward when it comes to connecting. We just want this goodwill, good energy to come ahead. And so I see this sort of kind of space coming forward from them where they're thinking about creating an openness and connecting, thinking about creating a flow, thinking about making sure that the conversation moves forward in a way that is not going to be forced and is just very natural, but doesn't want to be in a place of like it being one-sided either. So thinking about how can we be open and vulnerable without it being kind of pressured is what I would see coming forward here. So that's what I would say in terms of K's thoughts and feelings. So let's go ahead and see for J's thoughts and feelings. All right, so Jay seems to be thinking, I want to express myself, but I don't really know how to do that. The Two of Cups with the King of Cups kind of gives me this idea that they found more harmony within inside of themselves in one way or another, and they're thinking about how they can go ahead and express themselves, or how they could go ahead and connect, or how they can go ahead and have some sort of flow with you, make something happen, and kind of push forward that idea that they've maybe settled in themselves a little bit more, opened up to themselves a little bit more, connected within themselves a little bit more, without, maybe not without is the right word. Like they're wanting to go express that, but they're having a hard time in maybe figuring out how. When we have the Eight of Swords, it's very much getting caught up in the things that other people have said, other people's ideas, maybe even social norms. It's very much away from where we're wanting to move forward ourselves or our own ideas and just thinking about what everybody else wants. And then the Seven of Cups can come forward as a strong card of confusion. We just don't know how to make something happen. We don't know what is right. We don't know what is wrong. We don't know how to create the flow. We don't know how to take action, really, just to put it simply. And so it seems like they're thinking, okay, now I feel that it's right within me to express something, or I feel a little bit more settled within inside of my own energy, but I don't really know how to create that flow or create that openness. And it's a hope within inside of myself to connect or to express myself or to see some sort of flow, but I don't know how to make it happen. The Eight of Pentacles is like a desire to put in the work, right? We're wanting to put in the time, effort, and energy to see something move forward, to see something flow. We feel like now is the right time. So I see them being in this place that's like very open to you, very open to your energy, very much open to creating this point of flow and opportunity. But at the same time, just saying, I don't even know how to begin. I don't know how to begin to move something forward, to express myself, even though I'm in this place of feeling more flow, feeling more open to make something happen, to show that I feel more connected with inside of myself, to kind of be in a place of being open to another or being open to unity, things like that. It just kind of comes itself down to having a hard time finding that voice to now express themselves and understanding what is the best option to take when it comes to, you know, moving forward. So I would say they're feeling very much in the heart towards you, very caring, very nurturing, very strongly in a place of emotional desire, but at the same time feeling very held back and confused, not really understanding or being sure about how to create this sort of direction or action ahead. So that's what I would say. So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now. So if you are interested in having a personal reading here today, check it out, temperanceandsage.com for the live personal readings. Alrighty, let's go ahead here for 85. You'd like some clarity on their thoughts about you today. Let us see. Do not dump the bowl over. Do not dump the bowl over. All right, so there's some conflict here with this Five of Wands coming forward with the Seven of Swords on how they'd like to express themselves, connect with you, and be around you. And so it seems like they are thinking about here with these two cards, specifically about maybe how they could change some sort of dynamic between the two of you. But that Seven of Swords doesn't really want to be too vulnerable when it comes to saying something that may not benefit them. So with Temperance, where they may be looking for some harmony here between the two of you, looking for an opportunity to have flow, connection, and to be in each other's energy or to just be around each other. There's a hard time here in opening up if it doesn't really benefit them, right? If it causes some sort of issue for them or doesn't create flow, it doesn't create the best energy. It kind of makes things difficult to express themselves in certain ways if it's just not going to work for them, right? So it seems like this combination is coming forward here and saying that the thought process comes ahead in them wanting to create connection or wanting to create flow, wanting to create harmony, but saying it just doesn't benefit them sometimes to express themselves in some ways. So I just had to go on my computer here and pull back your cards. When we have the High Priestess coming forward with that Three of Swords, it can definitely be the Seven of Swords energy here, of just being in a place of saying, you know, sometimes I push things down because it just doesn't really benefit me right now to talk about them. If I'm not in a place to connect with you because we're not on the same pages about something, even energetically, then it's not really open to free flowing energy to make something happen. So Temperance, again, even though we're in a place of like thinking about how we can create flow and harmony, and we're wanting to, a Six of Swords coming forward, Ace of Wands, right? We're wanting to spark something up to smooth things over, have flow, have communication. We feel very young or we feel very naive when it comes to being able to express ourselves and offer things because we just don't maybe know how to move forward in certain ways. And with that Three of Swords energy, you know, it can be amplified with this Page of Cups because if we feel a little bit more naive when it comes to the heart and expressing ourselves, we can get really worried and thinking about the things that could go wrong versus the things that could go right. So it seems like they're thinking about here some of the ways that the two of you kind of conflict in terms of energy, and it just doesn't benefit them right now to be able to express themselves in certain ways, and so that may be why they kind of hold themselves back. But thinking about trying to create connection, trying to create flow, trying to create some sort of excitement and opportunity here, but just kind of being in a place of saying, well, if I'm not ready to work on these things or if I'm not ready to express myself in certain ways, then it just doesn't really do me any good to overly think about these things or overly try to connect in certain ways or overly try to make something happen. It just kind of makes things feel a little bit more difficult than it does bring forward a place of flow. And so High Priestess, we push them down, or Seven of Swords, we hold them back, rather than to completely try to express ourselves and be open about these things that we're feeling. So it seems like the thought process today very much is like, I'm going to hide things away that just don't really need to be out in the open, thinking about trying to connect with you and trying to have some sort of balance, but recognizing that it's not just as easy or as simple as wanting that, and there are things to overcome before we can get to this complete place of flow when it comes to connecting and interacting. So that's what I would say. So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now. So if you are interested in having a personal reading here today, check it out, temperanceandsage.com for the live personal readings.